Good morning, everyone. Corey here with Ride Suspension. Today we will be talking about the beta forks, aka the Sachs, on the new X Pros. So as the intro explained, we're going to be talking about the Sachs suspension on the beta X Train, or not, well, X Trainers too, but primarily the X Pros. And where their kind of problems are and kind of what we've been trying to do to test and fix it. Me and Kent Swick of Swicks Suspension have been we've been working with each other trying to make these forks work without spending a whole lot of money onto them. The initial thing we found out is that the valving is inconsistent when it comes to your compression and your rebound and your mid valve. What I mean by that is normally on your base valve, which you have here, you have a pretty progressive stack here, and then it's also balanced by your mid valve and rebound. What we found out is stock beta or stock Sachs, they use a very thin base valve, so the stack is very small, and then they run a very stiff mid valve, which we have found out due to dyno testing and everything like that it has a very harsh holdup. Holdup means that it doesn't compress as softly. It almost feels like it's sticking, or it's not smooth motion through the whole thing. So a few things we have found and tried. We've tried the linear kit for them. Essentially, it's a new base valve that changes with a collar that changes from your 7 to 9 millimeter inside diameter shims to a 6 and 8, which is standard for all forks, so your tune-up possibilities are more. The problem with that, and what we've found, is the base valve is more of a motocross base valve when it comes to your bypass ports and your intake port and everything like that. It's much smaller, so that means the fluid's a lot more restricted and not flowing as easily. So like hard enduro guys, single track guys, and everything like that, it really causes it to be like a harsh buildup. You do, on the linear kit, you do get a new mid valve with a redesigned piston. We even dyno tested those and still didn't find that they were the solution. What we did find out, and it's been a huge thing, is found out if we modify these mid valves posts to allow more oil flow, that allows the mid valve cartridge or your cartridge to be balanced with the pressure in your base valve. The other thing we found out was there's a spring that sits under this washer that we've already set up, but the spring would sit on the outer like 3 or 4 shims. So that means you have a lot of pressure on those outer shims and not the whole stack. So you have a lot of holdup until there's enough pressure to push that spring out of the way, and then it just kind of blows through the stroke. So what we have done is we've, of course, after testing and done our own stacks and all that stuff, we put a plate in here that allowed the whole spring to push on the whole stack. So your stack is progressive, it's a more consistent feel, there's no twitchiness or anything like that. And that right there seemed to help a whole lot. And then a custom revalve to match on the bottom base valve, because the stock base valve actually has good flow. But a custom revalve to match where the pressure inside your forks are balanced, because that's where we're finding out is there's a lot of imbalance in between the forks, your cartridge pressure, all this other pressure that we have found in spikes and everything like that, where a lot of these forks, this style of fork is new for the 25, now 26, so a year or so, and there's not a lot of answers to them, because a lot of people just will be like, well, these forks are garbage, let me put cartridges on, or KYBs fit on them, or so on and so forth. So with these, they really do, you can make these forks work for you. We've probably spent last 6 to 8 months testing, tuning, trying different stacks, trying different things. just kind of going outside the box to where these work. Because there's we see a lot more betas getting put out there. We see a lot more stuff getting put out there. And we want to be able to have the option of, hey, is there a tuning way to make these forks smooth without having to spend a bunch of money? And companies like K-Tech and a lot of these companies aren't going to make, say, pro valves for them because they don't see it necessary to make the pro valves for them because they don't know how long these parts are going to be in here. So with that, the question for you guys is, do you want us to start designing a pre-built stack where you guys can do a DIY kit where it's a pre-built stack for at least a baseline for hard enduro, single track, and everything like that with everything that you would need? You guys do it? Or would you want to see more testing and tuning and everything like that? Let us know. Let us know in the comments. Reach out to me, whatever. And remember, I'm Corey with Ride Suspension. Ride beyond the limits. Have a good one.